Welcome back to BJP Lifestyle, guys. These are a bunch of things that you need to know if you have a Dodge Charger. Now, the first thing we're just gonna jump right into is if you go ahead and pop open your trunk and lift up your little lid here, you actually have this little hook here, which is just a little thing you might want to know. You know, not something that you need to know, but it is something that you might want to know. Along with that, up underneath here, there's an actual pull handle. I didn't notice that until recently, and I've had the car for quite a while. That's so you don't have to put any fingerprints on it anywhere when you're gonna put it down. Obviously, mine's just insanely dirty. I just washed it, but this is what you get when you daily drive a 2021 Scat Pack as a winter beater. But anyway, going into the trunk here, this is where you're gonna find a bunch of good stuff that you need to know about your Dodge Charger, especially if you have a Scat Pack or something where you're not gonna have an actual spare tire. Now, underneath here, you're gonna see this little tiny funnel looking guy right here, which can be popped out. Now, to get that out, it only takes the most force ever, but once you get this little guy out, you can go ahead and open up your gas fill-up nozzle spot here and go ahead and put this baby in. You notice that there's like a little notch kind of thing down at the bottom. You know, I think it's supposed to like sit in there, but whatever. This is just gonna be like a little funnel here so that you can actually fill up your gas tank. That's mainly obviously not gonna be with your normal nozzle. It's gonna be if you have some sort of gas tank, like you're out of gas or something and you got a little gas pump gas tank to fill it up. That's what you have this little guy for, and this is gonna come in super handy for you if you ever run into that situation. Now, on that same note down here underneath, again, if you have the Scat Pack and you do not have that nice spare tire down there for you, then you're gonna need this guy right here. And if you don't know what this does, this is actually going to be a fix-a-flat kit. Now, I've talked about this before, but this is super handy. You'll see the clear hose here. That's gonna actually be a fix-a-flat. So basically, you go over here to your wheel, plug this little guy onto here, and then switch it to this mode right here on the left, which is actually gonna spray this tar kind of goop stuff inside, which is gonna help you fix a flat. That's exactly what it does. It's named pretty well because that's literally exactly what it's gonna do. It's gonna put a bunch of like goopy stuff in there that's gonna dry and kind of harden and basically fill any holes that are in there so you can at least get home rather than having a donut or something like that. That's kind of an effective way that they do it now. So that's what that is, and you definitely need to know that just in case you run into the option or the issue of not having a spare tire and you get a flat. Now, can we please jump inside for the rest of them, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's like 20 degrees out and it's cold, and let's just jump inside. Now, these next things might only apply to certain models. I'm not really sure which models it's going to apply to, but we're gonna go ahead and talk about them anyways. Now, our first one is gonna be our drive mode selector right over here. So now if you go ahead and click that, it'll pop up your little drive modes window. So you guys can see the auto mode, blah, 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 all that good stuff. You guys already know about this. If you don't, then I can make another video going over all the details of the Uconnect, which I'll probably have on the channel anyways. If you're here and in this menu, you guys have your custom setup, which mine is just sport mode with traction on, just in case I want to do it in the rain or whatever like that. So if you guys do want to pop into this, one of the great things is, say we're in track mode or we're in auto mode, we start the car and we get in and we want to pop it into that custom mode right away. All you have to do is go ahead and just double tap this little drive modes button. 2 clicks and it'll click it right in, as you guys can see there, and it'll change right into your custom mode. This one is going to be super important if you guys want to get sideways, slide it around, or do anything like that. And that's going to be turning traction control and the ESC completely off. So what you're going to want to do is go down to your little button right here, which normally if you just click it once, it will say electronic stability control sport, blah, 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 whatever. It's going to change, and then depending on which mode you're in over here, it's going to go ahead and change to whatever mode. But if you click it a couple different times, I believe it changes a little bit. But if you just go ahead and hold that button down for about 10 seconds, you should see a little thing indicate that it turns off completely. Obviously my car's not running, so I don't really want the background noise, but I'll show you guys in just a second what that looks like when you actually do it, and then maybe, you know, slide it just a little bit. The paddle shifters can be super handy, so if you guys are not using them, then you need to use them. I'll be having a video coming out soon on driving in manual mode mode if you guys never do it with paddles, so that you guys can understand a little bit better of how to do it. One of the great things about this car in particular is you have your paddles, but with these paddles, right, you tap the right one to pop it into manual mode or just in paddle shift mode. You don't have to have it in manual mode down here on the actual shifter. You can just go ahead and press the right one, or I think you could do either, and it will pop it right into paddle shifter mode for you so that you're activated so you can do manual mode. I'll show you guys here in just a second how this works, but basically what we're essentially going to want to do is when you're in manual mode and you really want to just take off and just kind of gun it a little bit, if you hold down the left paddle, it'll drop it into the lowest possible gear for you at that time, and you'll be able to launch it a little bit easier. Now, it's the same thing essentially as using the right paddle or the upshift and holding that, and it'll put it back into drive mode for you. So we're going to go ahead and demonstrate this as well as the traction off now, and I'll catch up with you guys with the GoPro. All right, for this one, we're gonna go ahead and pop it into sport mode here, and then we're gonna show you guys the paddle shifter. So we're in drive down here. You guys can see we're not clicked over to the manual mode, we're just in drive, and we're gonna go ahead and click that right paddle, put us into our little drive mode. So if we're just driving along here, and then we just, you know, shift in, and we wanna just drop it. You guys can see how that works there, where it's kind of hard here because I don't have as much room as I'd like, but if you just go ahead and hold down that left paddle, it's going to drop it to the lowest possible gear for you. So obviously that was 1 because I was in 2 or 3. Try and get a better clip, not sure if I'll get one, but let's just go ahead and jump to the next thing. So now here, if you guys just click your traction off, which you guys can see, it just clicked it to track, which is super weird. I think if you click it again, it might put it into a different mode. But if you just click it once, you guys can see we're in sport mode, traction's off. You know, it's just normal sport mode stuff like you would see here. But if you go ahead and turn and then you just floor it a little bit, you guys can see there, it's a little bit slick out, so it did slide, but it does lock up a little bit. Where if we go ahead and just hold down the button here for 10 seconds, like I said, it's a rough estimate of 10 seconds. See, the ESC turns off completely, and now you can really slide and do a little bit of donuts and have a little bit more fun. Now, I do have snow tires on, so I'm not gonna get too crazy here. Just do a little slide for you guys, just so you guys can see that it does feel different and doesn't feel as bad. You guys can see there, it just slides just as easy as you might want it to if you go ahead and just hold down that button and turn it off. But that's about it for this video, guys. Hope you did enjoy. Make sure you subscribe. Peace.